Sure. So Windows IT Pro put on a pre-con. We had a couple of sessions, one for developers, one for IT pros, basically about cloud computing in the future and the future of the business and the future of their jobs. So it was interesting. I think for developers, cloud computing is the future, and it's another thing to learn, and it's exciting. And then for IT pros, it's a little scarier, a little more uncertainty. So slightly different ambiances in the two rooms. It was sort of interesting, but a lot of good conversation though. It was a good time. You know, there were no major news announcements occurring here, but what is occurring here is the culmination of a lot of work that Microsoft's been doing over the years to bring their on-prem stuff to the cloud in hosted form and then allow them to work together. So I think what we're seeing here for the first time is just the breadth and depth of all of the things that they offer. And it's just a set of solutions that the competitors really can't match because, you know, companies like Google or these cloud companies have cloud-specific solutions, but they don't have the on-prem stuff. And of course, a lot of the on-prem companies don't have the hosted stuff or the hybrid stuff that Microsoft has. So I think what you're seeing here is the full force of what they are making available now and in the near future as well. It was funny, I've not met the people who are in the keynote, and this was kind of a first for me. I usually know the Microsoft guys pretty well. I thought they did a great job. It was really interesting. And you know, again, I think it was eye-opening for people just to see some of this stuff, because even though Microsoft has been working on some of it for years, I think this is the first time for a lot of these IT pros especially where they understood, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Well, so I work for Windows IT Pro and for Penton, and I have the site SuperSite for Windows, and we have I have various books that I'm working on, some by myself, some with others. So Windows 7 Secrets is in the market now. I wrote with Rafael Rivera, and then I did a Windows Phone Secrets book as well. But what we're looking at this summer now, of course, is Windows 8, and that's what we've been gearing up for. So I think the next year or so, that's going to be our focus, is on the Windows 8 stuff. I like to see Microsoft do something it does very well, which is to bring technology down market in ways that are more approachable and also more affordable. So instead of just guys in white lab suits, you know, being able to implement things very expensively, you know, they have a nice way of bringing things down market. So things like Office 365, which you can subscribe to as an individual, or Windows Intune, same thing, as an individual. These are previously expensive services provided on premises that now Microsoft is offering very inexpensively through the cloud, and I think there's kind of a democracy effect that occurs when they do that, and I think that stuff is very exciting. Sure. So one of the things I decided very early on was that to be successful, I needed to be transparent, and this isn't some act. This isn't something I do from 9 to 5. I mean, this is me, and so I'm out there. And you can reach me on Twitter at Thurrott, my last name. But the point being that I'm available and there for conversation, and I do answer 100 emails or more a day, but it's nice to be able to do things online and also be able to interact in the other way and ask questions, because that's something that can benefit everybody, you know, when you put it out in the public space. And I think that's why those social networking technologies are so important, because you're not just helping a person, you're able to interact with the world, or at least more people. So it was kind of a long path, but I've obviously always been interested in computers. The SuperSite for Windows specifically began when I heard that Microsoft was working to combine their NT code base with the consumer code base into one product. And it didn't actually happen in that release. It was called NT5 at the time, became Windows 2000, and it really wasn't until XP that vision was fulfilled. But it was just the excitement over, again, it was really that same democratization, if you will, of technology, where they were going to bring the security and reliability of NT down to consumers, but also bring up all the consumer functionality from the 9X stuff. So it was just an exciting time, I thought, and it was something I was enthused about, and so I started the SuperSite for Windows at that time. It's just, you know, TechEd has been very interesting this year. It's a big show, obviously, and this is a huge place too. I mean, it's been a lot of walking and so forth, but it's, you know, it's interesting. I think the thing that has struck me the most here is that I have learned about things that I didn't know about, and that doesn't, I'm not saying that doesn't happen all the time, but it's very interesting to be confronted with things that I really didn't know anything about. So multi-point server would be the big example there. You know, I went into this with a lot of knowledge about Office 365 or Windows Intune or System Center and so forth, but multi-point was kind of a blank slate. I was really surprised by how good it was. So I think of all the things I've seen here, that would probably be the most exciting to me because it was the newest and also really fulfills a need, I think.